Lasermate, eject, operation, channel intro.
Hello fellow YouTubers, LightWC Stop Motioner here. Welcome to viewers new and old, and today I'm going to be reviewing Transformers Animated Deluxe Class Blackarachnia. I've been meaning to get this figure for a while, and I finally stumbled on a good deal, and I'm pretty happy with it, but this figure is not the best from the animated line. So here we have Spider Mode, and I think it looks pretty good. Yes, you do have the visible hands, but otherwise I think it looks pretty nice. Got the abdomen back here, you got the very creepy front section here with these mandibles. Oh, those are posable. Alright. And so are these front ones. You do get a little bit of posability, you get these legs here. You can rotate right here. You get this right here, because of course it has more posability because that's the arm. And you do get some movement back here and right here. So it's alright. You do have this extending section, so she can kind of drop in. And you can open and close the claw. So that's pretty nice. And then you just push, then there's just this button right here. And that retracts it. So that's pretty neat. You do have the hourglass symbol you would see on an Iraq Black Widow, I think. Yeah, those are the kinds that have it. So for some comparisons, didn't get the Kingdom one in Spider Mode because I simply didn't feel like it. But here she is with the Dinobots. Just thought I'd do that since this is kind of her army that she seduced into serving her. And Swoop's not wanting to stand. There we go. And there's Slag. So, that looks pretty cool. So I think that pretty much covers the spider mode. So now we can get on to the transformation. Alright, so first off I'm just going to go ahead and detach this weapon and set it off to the side. Just go ahead and open this up. You can get her head out, which it makes you work a little bit to get it out, which makes me a little nervous because this whole back section is translucent plastic. Alright, then see if I can do this without popping them off. Just rotate the mandibles out like this. And then just come right here, just go ahead and fold this down. And there we go, I popped it off. Super. Alright. That's the really annoying thing, these mandibles do not like staying on. It's really, well, this one particularly, and it's very annoying. I really don't like that. Alright, then go ahead and rotate this section right here. Just get this arm out of the way. Rotate right here. Just kind of rotate it like that. Do the same on this side with these legs, and then just kind of situate them so this leg sits right behind her. And then just go ahead, rotate the arm around. Just rotate right here at the elbow. And then fold these up. Then come right here, fold this out. Just kind of undo this right here. Then rotate it around. Then pull that down. Pull the foot up. And do the same thing on this side. Just go ahead and fold that section up. And then just kind of get the feet to where she'll stand. Just make sure you just get her set down and then push the feet down on the ground. And there's her robot mode. And I do think this robot mode looks pretty good. I do think it's a pretty clever touch what they did with the mandibles to kind of form her sides, but there's some issues with like the articulation and such. First off, I'm just going to talk about her thing here, that her weapon that can't really be used very well. It's like you put it on her arm, but okay, well, it's staying on well now because I'm filming this, but I was having an issue. There we go. Okay. So I just personally like to store it back here. It's kind of out of the way. It's gonna interfere a little bit, but not too bad, I don't think. I do think that head sculpt is really nice. Like I said, she does have light piping. I do feel like it's slightly the same issue with animated RC, where I feel like she could use a little bit of paint to bring out that mouth more. Because, I mean, without a light shining on it. Okay, come on. Oh, just... Okay, it won't focus. Oh well. But I still think the coloration is nice, because, of course, this is kind of a hybridized design of her original design. Like, here, here's the Kingdom 1 in robot mode. Wow, she is a lot smaller. But you can see some similarities specifically with the head design. But then she also has aspects of the Transmetal 2 design where, like, such as the coloration, and I think she also draws a little bit from the Beast Machine's design in the sense she has... Come on, focus on her. There we go. Okay. Where she has more than just 2 eyes, which, like I said, is a little hard to see, but oh well. Okay, so more comparisons. Here she is, of course, with her former friends, or she is with Optimus and Sentinel. And of course, Sentinel isn't really the right size. And then here she is with her army. There's Grimlock, and there's Slag and Swoop. So, that looks pretty cool. So, now for the articulation. That's where I kind of start to have some slight issues. You do get some movement right here if you count that. You do get a pretty good bit of movement on the head. It can rotate, it can tilt, look up and down. Arms, the shoulders, like I said, are designed to do a full 360, but they are going to collide with the spider legs, unless you move them out of the way. Elbows, you can fold, you can just rotate them, you get pretty good bit of movement there. Pull off about a 90. But there's no hand rotation. That's a really big problem with the articulation, because the thing is, she could pull off where it looks like she's crossing her arms, but just with the hand like that, it doesn't look right. So that kind of bugs me. And then legs can kick forward about that far. And if you move the abdomen out of the way, back about that far, I guess. You do get a thigh rotation. Knees can pull off. That looks like a, yeah, that's about a, maybe a little over a 90. And you do get foot articulation. So most of it is there. Oh, she does also have a waist swivel. Yeesh. Don't want to forget that. That would have been bad. And I guess if you want to count it, you do get articulation on the spider legs on the back here. And you can also fold these forward. So it's mostly there, but just without hand articulation. That's just, I don't know, that just kind of bugs me on this figure. There's some figures in the animated, actually there's quite a few that don't have hand articulation, but for some reason it just bothers me more here than it does with those. I don't really know why. It just does. I also want to mention the hourglasses here on the forehead, which I do think is a pretty cool touch. I guess if you want to, maybe you could just make these kind of look like arm blades. So, I think that pretty much covers her. So I'll go ahead and stick her on the display. Alright, so there's Blackarachnia with my Decepticons. So I finally have the first 5 Decepticons we saw in the first episode of the series, even though we never saw them team up after that, which has been unfortunate, but oh well. So I do think this is a good figure, but it's definitely not the best of the animated line. Now, part of that is just because of all the competition, because I mean, there's some really good figures in this line. That's why I love it so much. I think the spider mode looks good. I really don't have too much to complain about with the spider mode, but then transformation is a little annoying, mainly with that mandible that likes to pop off and folding the head out. I think the robot mode looks good, but like I said, just the lack of wrist swivel. I don't know. Like I said, Blur doesn't have it, and he's like arguably my favorite Transformer in my whole collection. I just haven't put the other figures back yet. But for some reason, it just kind of bothers me here. I think the weapon is really cool, how it can kind of work as a grapple. So I do think this is a good figure, but she's not really worth the prices she usually goes for, because I see her go for like $45 at best, or maybe in box like $70. But if you are able to get her for a decent price like I was able to, she is worth it, and definitely a must. She was a fairly main character in the series, even though we didn't see her that much, all things considered. But that's just what I think of the figure. As always, please be sure to comment down below what you think of it. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and God bless.